has the views of some of the top medical experts, public health experts, epidemiologists, economists on what their view on this critical question. Should India end the lockdown on the 3rd of May or should the lockdown be extended? This is the highest quality medical advice that
Richard Horton, editor-in-chief of one of the most popular medical journals in the world, The Lancet, warns against rushing into lifting the lockdown.
Don't rush this, because if you rush going back to work, if you rush lifting the lockdown and you have a second wave of the infection, then that could be even worse than the first wave. You've invested so much time and effort in your current lockdown. Don't waste that time and effort that you've invested.
In fact, the Lancet editor believes nothing less than a 10-week lockdown is needed.
Keep going with it as much as you possibly can until the end of a 10-week period. It's not enough to control the epidemic.
The world's top virologists and doctors studying the spread of the coronavirus all unanimously agree that complete end to curbs will not be possible in the near future and that social distancing will be the new normal.
You need to galvanize those people, who are in your biotech industries who have the ability to develop personal protective equipment like masks and gloves, as well as testing equipment. If you consider testing on a wide scale and you can identify clusters of disease early on, then you can just isolate those people and you can begin to move us all back to work, back to school, back to normal life. But there are some things that are going to be difficult and that will lag. So large public events, sporting events, theaters, movies, these kinds of things, very, very difficult.
The main thing that we want is to buy time for ourselves until we get a good drug, vaccine, or drug candidate.
We were able to get SARS under control, not by a vaccine, not by therapeutic, that obviously still doesn't exist today, but by good old public health measures, people being able to socially distance themselves. And that's how we were able to get that epidemic under control. And so those are, various measures that actually have worked, and they're continuing to work even now in this COVID-19 pandemic that we're in.
With India and the world shut down, will an extension mean more bad news for the economy? Opinion is divided on saving lives and livelihoods. One of the most formidable voices on economics, the legendary Financial Times editor Martin Wolf says it's not about containment versus economy, but containment and economy.
I don't think of it as containment of the disease versus the economy. I think of it as containment of the disease and the economy. Large parts of the labour force would not be able to work. There will be enormous medical costs associated with managing such a disease, and these are really enormous costs. The costs directly in medical care and the economic costs would be enormous. Contain it effectively and keep it contained. Over, let's say, we have 2 months of shutdown, lockdown, whatever you call it, then we have effective policy, which not all countries can do, of testing, tracing, quarantine, so the disease remains very subdued or even eliminated in society, as in South Korea, then the economy can go fairly well back to normal.
This is really hard, no doubt. But I do think that we live in a world where, at least in some countries, from an economic standpoint, we have leaders that are capable if they want. They're capable of seeing that it's possible to help people through. When, as a family, you go through a tough crisis, you take on some debt, and later you're going to work through it, right? And so we can do that together as one giant community.
Some Indian business heads, however, are of the opinion that India needs to ease restrictions as soon as possible.
All lockdowns are not born equal. I don't understand what the benchmark for this lockdown is, when clearly India is not like Europe, the UK or the US when it comes to its immunity, its temperature and its demography. And yet the lockdown here has probably been the most severe of any place in the world. And I think this disproportionate response needs to be reviewed and needs to be recalibrated.
I really believe that India has done a great job of saving lives, and now it's about saving livelihoods. So I really believe that we have enough positive and promising data to show that we are heading for a safe zone.
Prime Minister Modi will be meeting chief ministers of all the states for the fourth time on Monday to discuss India's road ahead. Lockdown re-entry will be the top of the agenda. All eyes now are on the Prime Minister. Bureau Report, India Today.
We've heard the global experts. What do the key ministers in the most important Indian states feel about the question of the extension of the lockdown? Joining me live and exclusive on the news track, Ashwath Narayan, Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Sachin Pilot, Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Satinder Jain, the Health Minister of Delhi, Jai Pratap Singh, the Health Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Thomas Isaac, the Kerala Finance Minister, and Senior Minister in the Maharashtra Government, Senior Congress Leader Ashok Chavan. I'm delighted that all of them could join us on this broadcast. I want to go across to Sachin Pilot first, and I want to show you what's happening in Rajasthan. This is this breakup of Indian states. Rajasthan at this moment is the fourth most impacted Indian state with about 2,000 confirmed cases, 27 deaths and 230 recoveries. Mr. Pilot, from the perspective of the government of Rajasthan, do you believe we're now in a position where the lockdown can end, or do you think this lockdown needs to be extended, or are you looking at a middle approach which involves further easing of the lockdown conditions? Sachin.
I don't think there are easy answers, Rahul. And when we say that everybody stay in their home, we're assuming that everybody has a home. What about those who don't have a roof over their head? So while it's important for us to, have a sort of a soft landing when we do open up these economic activities, but I think we have to have a staggered and a mixed, nuanced approach, because you can't keep the livelihood on hold forever. I think that people's bandwidth to support the system itself will expire soon. So we'll have to get called closer to May 3rd as to how to go forward. From my state, Rajasthan, the numbers are still coming in. It's not that we have not done enough. We've done enough, but still the spread is still there.
Okay, I want to go across to Ashwath Narayan, the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister. Before that, I want to show you what's happening in Karnataka. Let's take you through the data for Karnataka on the India Today, Corona India dashboard powered by the India Today Data Intelligence Unit. Here is the latest situation from Karnataka at this moment. 443 confirmed cases, 17 deaths, 141 recoveries. Karnataka not even in the top 9 states most impacted by the coronavirus. Mr. Ashwath Narayan, welcome. What's your sense of the question around ending this lockdown? Do you believe you will feel comfortable if this lockdown is ended and life starts walking towards normalcy, or do you believe the lockdown needs to be extended in its current avatar? Welcome, sir.
So basically, lives also very important. First importance is the lives, and along with lives, we need to address the livelihood also. Lockdown cannot be the permanent solution. As a way out, we need to exit from the lockdown. Already the government of India has come out with the exit plans. It has started with some sectors relaxation has been given, and it has started with some sectors. probably over the time, gradually, the relaxation will be extended to all the sectors, and we need to bring back to the normalcy, the economy, the lives of the people, the livelihood, everything needs to be addressed. Initially, to start with, since the virus, the speed of the spread of the virus was very rampant, and it could have been a biggest challenge since the infrastructure what was available in our country was very limited, and it would have been very difficult for us to handle. Probably that chaos would have led to the lot of problems in our country. Our Honorable Prime Minister took a right decision of shutting down the entire country. By that way, we are able to prevent the spread of this disease, and we are able to prepare ourselves to gear up and to face and tackle. And we could see how this disease can spread on the character of this virus. Everything has been well understood, and we could develop many of the testing labs for screening or the detection of the active cases. So this way, the infrastructure, the hospital exclusive isolation hospitals have been now been provided. Many infrastructure, masks, PPE, many things were not available. Now probably whatever required things to face this virus or to fight this virus, probably we are geared up, we can face it. And over the time, even people have understood how to deal with this issue. And you've seen how post COVID-19, how people's lives have changed, the way they live has completely changed.
They most certainly have. Satinder Jain, the Health Minister of Delhi, what's your sense of the preparedness in the national capital? क्या आपको लगता है कि स्थिति अनुकूल है लॉकडाउन को खत्म करने के लिए, या आपको लगता है कि जिस तरह की स्थिति अभी है लॉकडाउन को कंटिन्यू करने की जरूरत है? I just want to show our viewers what's happening in Delhi. Despite its small size, Delhi is the third most corona-ravaged state in the country, with 2,248 confirmed cases, 724 recoveries and 48 deaths. Minister, आपके हिसाब से क्या इस लॉकडाउन को कंटिन्यू करना चाहिए या खत्म कर देना चाहिए?
देखिएगा, मैं आपको पहले तो ये बता दूं कि दिल्ली में 1 महीने का लॉकडाउन पूरा हो चुका है, 1 महीना कंप्लीट हो चुका है, और 1 महीने के अंदर अब जो टोटल अभी तक दिल्ली में केसेस हुए हैं 2248 2248 केसेज हैं। आज जो सिचुएशन है, कल हमारे पास 92 नए केस आए थे और 113 लोग रिकवर हुए थे, ठीक हुए थे। मतलब जो नए केस आ रहे हैं उससे ज़्यादा लोग ठीक हो रहे हैं। साथ ही साथ एक्सपर्ट का ये भी कहना है, अगर लॉकडाउन नहीं होता तो ये केसेस कम से कम 50 गुने या 100 गुने ज़्यादा होते हैं। तो लॉकडाउन का बेनिफिट तो है ही। और वैसे भी देखिएगा, इस बीमारी के 2 स्टेजेज हैं। वन है, अगर किसी से इन्फेक्ट होते हैं तो 14 दिन तक का इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड हो सकता है। 14 दिन के अंदर आपको ये बीमारी के सिम्टम्स आ सकते हैं। उसके बाद फिर 14 दिन इसको ठीक होने में लग सकते हैं। तो इट मीन्स कि 28 दिन का साइकिल लगभग बनता है पूरा, कि भाई आपको फर्स्ट किसी से इन्फेक्ट होने से लेकर पूरी तरह से ठीक होने में 28 दिन तक लग सकते हैं। अब 1 महीने का इसमें पूरा हो चुका है, साइकिल पूरा हो चुका है। तो इसको बात सही लगती है, अगर लॉकडाउन नहीं होता, लोग घरों के अंदर नहीं होते, तो ये बहुत बुरी तरह से फैलता। और हमारे सामने बहुत सारे देशों के एग्जाम्पल हैं, जैसे आप यूरोप के कितने सारे देश हैं, स्पेन है, ब्रिटेन है, इटली है, आप किसी भी देश को, फ्रांस है, जर्मनी है, आप देखिएगा कितनी तेज़ी से वहाँ पे जो बढ़ा था। बाद में उन लोगों ने भी लॉकडाउन किया, अदरवाइज एक दिन में 20-20 हज़ार केसेज आ रहे थे। आज इटली के अंदर 2-2.5-3 हज़ार केस रोज आ रहे हैं। जब तक उन्होंने लॉकडाउन नहीं किया था 20-20 हज़ार केस एक दिन में आ रहे थे। तो लॉकडाउन का बेनिफिट तो हुआ है, पर जहाँ तक बात है ये कि इसको बढ़ाना चाहिए या नहीं बढ़ाना चाहिए, अभी 10 दिन से ज़्यादा बाकी हैं। तो इतनी जल्दी इसके बारे में फैसला करना मुश्किल है। हफ्ता एक बारी रुक जाइए, इसको फिर से स्टडी करके तभी इसके ऊपर फैसला कर पाएंगे। अभी ये कह सकते हैं कि लॉकडाउन के फ़ायदे बहुत मिले हैं।
So you're saying you see the advantages in the lockdown, you want to take a decision closer to date. The one state that seems to be itching to ease life further is the state of Kerala, and with good reason, because if you look at the India trajectory, Kerala, which for the longest time was the most impacted state, is now at number 12 with 438 confirmed cases, just 3 deaths, 324 recoveries. That's quite a spectacular performance. Joining us from Thiruvananthapuram this evening is the state's Finance Minister, Thomas Isaac. He has reason to seem relaxed because they've actually been able to flatten the curve, as it were. So congratulations on your state's performance, Mr. Isaac. Welcome to India Today. What's your larger sense of this issue on whether the lockdown should be extended beyond the 3rd of May, or do you believe that you've got the situation adequately under control to be able to end this lockdown?
India is a very large country, a subcontinent size. And therefore, ground conditions in each state is so different. I think we must act with flexibility. Certain states, lockdown will have to continue. Certain states, certain restriction can be lifted. In the case of Kerala, we want more flexibility. Now, we are prepared. We are preparing ourselves for the worst. Our worst is yet to come. We are expecting once the lockdown, national lockdown is lifted, I don't know if it's May 3 or after, we are expecting something like 5 lakh migrant workers from the Gulf and many from Europe and of course other states in India to come back to Kerala. Our big challenge will be to test them all and proved positive, they will have to be quarantined. Even otherwise they have to be put under observation. But we want to unlock the economy sector by sector, say agriculture, small-scale industries, and so on, and see the shops are open in a restricted way. But we want to do something else. We are just going to ensure that all our vulnerable population, that is anybody above the age of 60 and have certain particular type of diseases. So all this vulnerable population, they would come to something like 12-13% of our population. They would entirely, we'll see to that, they will remain in the house, even in the house, in isolation. And it's a kind of reverse quarantine. And that's our strategy. I mean, I don't know if this would be possible in many other states, but in Kerala, it's possible. I'm just returning from meeting with my panchayat members, my constituency. Of course, not all panchayats, but panchayat presidents and key officials. They are preparing for the reverse quarantine. See, in this block, the Gram Panchayats have a joint program where we have tested for blood sugar, hypertension, cholesterol, height, weight, digitalized data of every citizen is available in the PHE. Therefore, we can very clearly identify who should remain in the house and what all facilities we have to provide for them. So we are planning the whole afternoon how to do this.
I want to go across now to Mumbai. Joining us from there, the state's PWD Minister, former Chief Minister and Senior Congress Leader Ashok Chavan. Chavan Sahab, welcome. I want to start by asking you about your sense of whether this lockdown can be extended. Maharashtra is deeply ravaged, far and away most impacted. In fact, let me show that to you. On the India map, Maharashtra has the maximum number of COVID cases, so much so that it has more than 25% of the total cases in the country. 5,652 confirmed cases as of this evening, 789 deaths, 269 deaths, 789 recoveries. Ashok Chavan, what's your sense? Are you feeling confident that the lockdown can be eased, or do you think it's almost imperative for the lockdown to be extended?
Well, it is difficult to predict at this stage whether it should be extended or not. Going by the figures, difficult to predict because as on date also, Mumbai has reported around 3,683 cases in Mumbai, and Maharashtra as a whole also has a total about 5,649 with death of 269 deaths. So going by the all the cases all over. Of course, these are mostly restricted to Mumbai, Pune, MMR region, Aurangabad, Nagpur. So going by these, I think the rest of the districts where the number is fairly low, one can talk about the green zone and the orange zone areas where we can take a chance of slightly being liberal in terms of drawing it on a limited period for the time and then again clamping it in the afternoons. Where like 100, Morning till afternoon, we have opened up for the people, but afternoon onwards, again it is closed down. So, going by selective cities where things are better, because revival of the economy is important. At the same time, containing the corona is also equally very important. So, I think Mumbai and Pune and MMR region and Thane are on a different parameter altogether. That decision has to be taken on a daily basis, watching how it is improving. And while the rest of it, we can definitely say that we can do it partially, depending upon how things are progressing.
Before I go further with this high-profile panel of ministers from important states, I want to show you what the global perspective on the lockdown is and how many days different countries have been in lockdown for. That will give you a sense of where we are at in comparison with different countries globally. So in the United Kingdom, there's been a lockdown now for 46 days, in Ireland for 38 days, in Netherlands for 37 days, in the United States for 45 days, in France for 56, in Brazil for 29. The orange dot denotes a partial lockdown and the red dot denotes a complete lockdown. So in China, a 77-day lockdown, but a very partial lockdown. In India, it's day 40. That's the total period of lockdown. In Switzerland, it's a 35-day lockdown. In Italy, a 56-day lockdown. In Australia, a 50-day lockdown. So this is a sense of how long the current lockdown is going to be in different countries of the world. So going by the numbers that you have on your screen right now, in a country like Italy, they've asked for a 56-day lockdown. In France, they've asked for a 56-day lockdown. In the United Kingdom, 46-day lockdown. So India isn't on an extreme. We've got a pretty strong lockdown, but it isn't an extreme lockdown. There are many countries like France, like Italy, but they've also been badly impacted, much more badly impacted than India is. That's the sense of how many days different countries are currently locked down for. I want to go back to Thomas Isaac, the Finance Minister of Kerala, because Mr. Isaac, it seemed that this week there was some friction between the central government and the state government on the issue of whether restrictions should be eased or not. And you were itching for life to return to normalcy, for barber shops, for example, to be opened. And the central government told you that would be a violation of the Disaster Management Act. We will not allow it. What is it that's giving you confidence, which makes you believe that we can actually extend the lockdown beyond where we are?
It's not different directions. We are all in the same direction. The same direction is containing the pandemic. And, well, we have been working along with the center totally. And we don't want to challenge the center in the strategy as it so. But center must accept. This is a very large country and conditions are so different. Here is a state where we have flattened the curve, and within another week, I am certain the number of active cases can be counted in the fingertips. That's when the first week of May. And there are states where it's exponential growth. How can you treat everybody the same way? It will be counterproductive, you see. You have to be flexible. That's the situation in a country like India.
Mr. Ashwath Narayan, in Karnataka, one of the critical questions has been about whether industry feels confident about restarting some of the industrial manufacturing units that are now allowed to restart, or should, because a lot of industrialists have said that the norms currently are very restrictive. You're supposed to provide accommodation, you're supposed to provide transportation. If something goes wrong, there's a possibility that you could be penalized, even though the Ministry of Home Affairs is trying to clarify that. What's the feedback that you've got? With restrictions being eased partially post the 20th of April, are you seeing a pickup in industrial activity, or people still very reluctant to get back to business?
Initially, what relaxation we have given to few sectors, it was a little bit conditional relaxation. We are very particular that they should not go there with their private vehicles. A contract vehicles should be procured by the respective industries or the concerned sector. They need to ensure and organize the transportation of their employees. That was the main condition. And SOP for their places wherever the employees are working or the industries have been open, they need to follow guidelines. Without following the guidelines, it becomes very difficult. That becomes a place where the virus can spread among those employees, and it becomes more of a problem than a solution, which we didn't wanted this to happen. Initially, our experience should be good so that it can bring in a lot of confidence among the employees or the employer or among the society members. We wanted to ensure nothing goes wrong. This was the main intention. Along with this, the condition of having their people to provide the stay, nothing like that, sir. At present, we are trying to allow wherever some of the sectors, if employees are there, some of the employees are there in some of the camps in the particular work site. Many of the workers are living in the work site. We felt since the workers are there in the work site, we wanted to utilize their resource and ensure why things should not work there. That was the main intention. We are not forcing anybody to keep their employees in their working site, nothing like that. We are only insisting them to have a contract bus to transport their employees. That was the main condition. In way forward, probably the relaxation will happen by systematically, and the exit plan cannot happen overnight. The relaxation should be gradual. It cannot be instant. It needs to be gradual. Otherwise, it will be back to square one, which should not happen. We are planning to exit very gradually, phase by phase, and it has been extended to all the sectors.
Stay with me. Jai Pratap Singh is the Health Minister of Uttar Pradesh. I want to show our viewers what's happening in Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is currently at the number 7 spot in India when it comes to states most impacted by coronavirus. The Noida area in particular, where we are, is the most badly impacted. 1,500 confirmed cases, 21 deaths, 187 recoveries. Jai Pratap ji, उत्तर प्रदेश में हेल्थ फैसिलिटीज काफ़ी नाजुक हैं, इसको ख्याल में रखते हुए क्या आपके हिसाब से इस लॉकडाउन को एक्सटेंड किया जाना चाहिए, या आप में कॉन्फिडेंस है कि अगर लॉकडाउन एक्सटेंड नहीं होता और राहतें मिलती हैं तो उत्तर प्रदेश में तकलीफ नहीं होगी? क्या राय है आपकी? 3 मई के बाद आपके हिसाब से क्या होना चाहिए?
देखिए, केसेस तो अभी भी निकल रहे हैं काफ़ी जगह, और अगर हम उसका आंकड़ा देखेंगे तो अभी लगभग जो पुराने केसेस से संबंधित है, जो क्वारंटीन में थे या जो पहले कहीं से पॉजिटिव केस चिन्हित हो गए थे, उनसे जुड़े हुए कॉन्टैक्ट ट्रेसिंग में अभी उनका ही ज़्यादा निकल भी रहा है। तो अभी तक तो हम अगर आबादी के हिसाब से देखें तो हमारी संख्या करीब 1560, जो मुझे आज 12 बजे तक बताया गया था, 11 बजे तक। अब हो सकता है इधर जैसे जैसे हमारे सैम्पलिंग हो रहा है, तो अभी तो मैं कह सकता हूं कि उस आधार पर कि जो जनपदों में हमने हॉटस्पॉट बनाए हैं, उन हॉटस्पॉट्स के अंदर हम सैम्पलिंग कर रहे हैं। जो क्वारंटीन में रखे लोग हैं पूरे प्रदेश में, उनके सैम्पलिंग हम लोग कर रहे हैं। कुछ बाहर से लोग आ रहे हैं, उनके सैम्पलिंग कर रहे हैं। तो इस तरह मिला के हम लोग अभी जो भी इस तरह के लोग जो बाहर से आए हुए या क्वारंटीन में है या कॉन्टैक्ट ट्रेसिंग में कहीं पकड़ में आ रहे हैं, उन्हीं लोग का हम लोग सैम्पलिंग करा के, और उसमें जितने लोग का निकल रहा है, क्योंकि सैम्पलिंग की क्षमता हमारी बढ़ गई है। जहां 2 महीना पहले हम खाली KGMU के एक लैब से कराते थे, आज हमारे पास 15 लैब है और 4000 के ऊपर का हमारा टेस्टिंग चलता है। प्लस हम पूल टेस्टिंग भी हमने शुरू कर दिया है। तो इससे मिला के हमारे अच्छी खासी सैम्पलिंग हो रही है, जिसमें ये सब पकड़ में भी आ रहा है।
Okay, I want to show our viewers now the new cases graphic that we've put together, which shows you which state is reporting the maximum number of cases. Now, for the longest time, it's been in Maharashtra that the maximum number of cases has been reported, and that's the way it stayed even today. 434 new cases came just out of Maharashtra. 231 cases came out of Rajasthan, which is now suddenly the number 2 state in the country with the maximum number of new cases being reported, Gujarat. So we are seeing some new flashpoints being created. Then there is Uttar Pradesh. So in Maharashtra, we've got Ashok Chavan with us, the PWD minister. Minister, if you see the data, time and again, it's Maharashtra which is showing the maximum number of new cases. Why is that happening? A lot of people in the Bharatiya Janata Party, many on camera, some off camera, seem to suggest, Mr. Chavan, that the Uddhav Thackeray government isn't doing a good enough job. More than 25% of the pan-India cases have been reported just from your state. Why is that? Why is it that Thomas Isaac in Kerala and his government can bend the curve and you don't seem to be able to do that?
if the government of India is on record, then I would ask them to tell me where we have gone wrong. I don't think the state government has done the maximum. It is continuing regularly. Tests have been continuing on the daily basis. As today, till today, cumulative, around 90,223 samples have been sent to the various labs. Out of that, there are 83,979 which have turned out to be negative, and 5,649 turned to be positive. So the number of tests are increasing. The number of labs throughout Maharashtra, because the being quarantined or only isolation is not the solution to it. But the maximum number of tests to be conducted. ICMR was initially reluctant to permit additional labs in Maharashtra, but now recently that decision has been taken, and I think a number of labs have increased, so number of tests are going to go up. And definitely, the number of tests are above than the as required. Then I think a clear picture will emerge. But being a metropolitan city, it has its own problems. So definitely, so we are not leaving any stone unturned to see that fight this battle against corona tooth and nail, and not only the doctors and the nurses and the ward boys, the NGOs have come out, the entire government machinery is only focusing on corona and nothing else at the moment, and even the donors, health people who are coming forward. So everybody is on a war footing, trying to resolve the problem.
I want to show our viewers the data about the trajectory, and if you look at the trajectory tracker for Indian states, these are the lines that show the rate at which cases would be doubling, if the rate at which cases would be increasing if they were to double every 2 days, every 3 days and every week. Now Delhi, Satinder Jain ji, despite being such a small state, has one of the longest lines, and more problematically it seems to have a line with a sharp incline. What are your biggest challenges at this moment? This line, which is the green line, is the line of Delhi. It's just below Maharashtra, but it's a long line, and it's a line where there's a problem with the speed at which the infection is growing as well. आपके हिसाब से सतिंदर जैन साहब, इस वक्त के सबसे बड़े challenges क्या हैं? What is it that you're most worried and concerned about?
देखिएगा, एक चीज़ है कि जो एसिम्प्टोमेटिक लोग हैं ना, जिनके सिम्टम्स नहीं है और वो पॉजिटिव निकल रहे हैं, वो एक बहुत बड़ी चिंता का विषय भी है और एक बहुत बड़ा संतोष का विषय भी है। चिंता इस तरह से है कि भाई इतनी बड़ी संख्या के अंदर लोग हैं जिनको पता नहीं लग रहा और वो पॉजिटिव हैं। चिंता दूसरी साथ में ये भी है कि भाई अगर वो लोग जिनको सिम्टम ही नहीं है वो घूमेंगे, मिलेंगे दूसरों से, तो उनको फैला देंगे। चिंता ये भी है कि वो लोग, हो सकता है उनकी इम्यूनिटी अच्छी हो, उनको कोई ज़्यादा असर ना पड़े, ज़्यादा उसको नुकसान भी ना हो, पर जिनको आगे वो इन्फेक्ट करने वाले हैं, हो सकता है वो उसको झेल ना पाए, उनको बड़ा नुकसान हो सकता है। संतोष इस बात का है कि इसका मतलब हमारे यहाँ पर लोग इसको आसानी से झेल पा रहे हैं, सिम्टम्स भी ज़्यादा सीवियर नहीं आ रहे हैं। आज दिल्ली के अंदर 2248 केसेस में से जो एक्टिव केस है ठीक होने के बाद जो हैं सब 1476 केस हैं, और 1476 केसेस में से सिर्फ 24 केस आईसीयू में हैं। जो दूसरे देश हैं उनके एग्जाम्पल बताते हैं कि वहाँ पर बहुत बड़ी संख्या के अंदर लोग आईसीयू में हैं। तो ये संतोष का विषय है कि लोग एसिम्प्टोमेटिक भी आ रहे हैं, और बहुत बड़ी चिंता का विषय भी है कि कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि वो लोग ऐसे लोगों को फैला दें जो कोमॉर्बिड हैं, जिनको दूसरी बीमारियां।
So that truly is the biggest concern. If you've got all these people who are asymptomatic floating around in the general population, then they can act as carriers and spread the infection to more people, which is why the lockdown has been useful. I want to show you the new India heat map that our software programmers have just created on our data intelligence team. Just zoom in as close as you can. I'll show it again. Here it comes. The India heat map. The states that you see marked out in green are the states which are not impacted. These are the districts that are not impacted, and touch wood for that, by the coronavirus, because this is some of the most backward part of our country. The states which are in dark red are the ones which are facing the maximum brunt of the coronavirus, and the light neon green are states which have clusters, but not the kind of viral spread that we've seen in states like Karnataka, like in states like Rajasthan, in states like the National Capital, and in Kerala. I want to go across to the Health Minister of Uttar Pradesh. क्या इंडस्ट्रियल एक्टिविटी कुछ रिज्यूम हुई है? 20 अप्रैल के बाद आप लोगों ने इजाजत दी कि ठीक है थोड़ा सा आप काम स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं, कई सारे आपने टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस दिए, उसके बाद क्या आपको लग रहा है कि कुछ पिकअप हो रहा है इंडस्ट्रियल एक्टिविटी में, आप अभी नहीं देख रहे हैं इंडस्ट्रियल पिकअप?
देखिए केसेस तो अभी भी निकल रहे हैं काफ़ी जगह, और अगर हम उसका आंकड़ा देखेंगे तो अभी लगभग जो पुराने केसेस से संबंधित है, जो क्वारंटीन में थे या जो पहले कहीं से पॉजिटिव केस चिन्हित हो गए थे, उनसे जुड़े हुए कॉन्टैक्ट ट्रेसिंग में अभी उनका ही ज़्यादा निकल भी रहा है। तो अभी तक तो हम अगर आबादी के हिसाब से देखें तो हमारी संख्या करीब 1560 जो मुझे आज 12 बजे तक बताया गया था, 11 बजे तक। अब हो सकता है इधर जैसे जैसे हमारे सैम्पलिंग हो रहा है उसके हिसाब से कुछ बढ़ भी सकता है। तो अभी तो मैं कह सकता हूं कि उस आधार पर कि जो जनपदों में हमने हॉटस्पॉट बनाए हैं उन हॉटस्पॉट्स के अंदर हम सैम्पलिंग कर रहे हैं। जो क्वारंटीन में रखे लोग हैं पूरे प्रदेश में, उनके सैम्पलिंग हम लोग कर रहे हैं। कुछ बाहर से लोग आ रहे हैं, उनके सैम्पलिंग कर रहे हैं। तो इस तरह मिला के हम लोग अभी जो भी इस तरह के लोग जो बाहर से आए हुए या क्वारंटीन में है या कॉन्टैक्ट ट्रेसिंग में कहीं पकड़ में आ रहे हैं, उन्हीं लोग का हम लोग सैम्पलिंग करा के, और उसमें जितने लोग का निकल रहा है, क्योंकि सैम्पलिंग की क्षमता हमारी बढ़ गई है। जहां 2 महीना पहले हम खाली KGMU के एक लैब से कराते थे, आज हमारे पास 15 लैब है और 4000 के ऊपर का हमारा टेस्टिंग चलता है। प्लस हम पूल टेस्टिंग भी हमने शुरू कर दिया है। तो इससे मिला के हमारे अच्छी खासी सैम्पलिंग हो रही है, जिसमें ये सब पकड़ में भी आ रहा है।
Okay, bear with me. I want to show our viewers the day-wise India numbers in the battle against the coronavirus. So this is the curve. So you can see this is the beginning of April. So it's been growing fairly fast. At this moment in India, there are 21,370 confirmed cases, 4,300 plus recoveries and 680 plus deaths. This in a global context doesn't seem all that bad, because while India is facing the increasing brunt of the coronavirus globally, there are 2.6 million confirmed cases, 7 lakh recoveries and almost 2 lakh deaths. And that is the problem the whole world is having to deal with. This data set that we've compiled, and if our producers can zoom in further, helps you look at how the number of cases are increasing in different countries when you compare and contrast this with India. The maximum number of cases by far are in the United States. India relatively unscathed. Compare it with Spain, Italy, France, Germany and other countries. They've been moving up and down, but at this moment, as we're in the middle of the second part of the lockdown, India mercifully unscathed, relatively speaking. 21,000 odd cases in comparison, 8 lakh plus cases in the United States. I'm going to slip into a break. When we come, and I want to thank all the ministers who joined us for this special conversation, because a lot of people who are pinging us for wanting to know, will the lockdown be extended or not? That we will know only on Monday when the Prime Minister meets with all the state chief ministers. But for the time being, Ashwath Narayan, Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Jai Pratap Singh, the Health Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Satinder Jain, Health Minister of Delhi, Thomas Isaac, the Finance Minister of Kerala, Ashok Chavan, the PWD Minister of Maharashtra, Sachin Pilot, the Deputy CM of Karnataka, of Rajasthan, for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you very much. We're slipping into a quick break. When we come back, we'll show you what's happening on the dark web. A lot of vaccines, even before the real vaccine has started human trials, lots of vaccines and supposed cures are available. A lot of people seem to be falling for it. Our open source investigation team looks at how many people are falling into a trap and going out and purchasing what they think is immunity, but it is anything but. Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.